Today, we're talking about the Ninja V from Atomos. What is up, guys? Nick Friend here. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. It's always a pleasure to see you. I love making these videos, so the fact that you guys are even watching them is amazing. And today I have this amazing piece of tech, which is an Atomos Ninja V, which is an HDMI recorder and monitor combo, wonderful device thing that you put on your camera, and it gives you some seriously cool results. Now, I'm sure that you know plenty about this product because it came out in August of last year, so almost a year ago. But if you don't, here's a little rundown. This is an HDMI only recorder monitor combo that gives you ProRes 422 recording. This one in particular records ProRes in a bunch of different flavors, as well as DNx HR. I don't personally have too much experience with DNx HR, but I love using ProRes. This records up to 4K 60p or 1080p at 60p as well, which is pretty cool for an external recorder because most of them just go up to 30p, at least most in this price point. Oh, that's another thing. It's less than 700 bucks, which is pretty amazing considering what this thing can do. In terms of specs, it's got a 1000 nit 5-inch screen that is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 1920 by 1200. And because the cool thing is, because it's so bright, you can actually record in daylight and you'd be able to see it like really easily, which is a very significant problem on my camera, at least, which is the Sony a7R III. So aside from like going through all the specs, I really wanted to talk about why you would use a product like this, because that's much more important to me. I don't really care too much about the products themselves, though they're very interesting. My interest comes when I'm looking at the why behind getting a new product. And among the many reasons that I could tell you, there's only a few that I think are genuinely important and worth sharing. First of all, it allows me to view in what they call Atom HDR. That's their proprietary way of viewing HDR footage, which is what all of our cameras can shoot in. Normally, I reserve my recording platform to be HLG, which is hybrid log gamma, which is kind of a wider spectrum HDR view that Sony does a little bit of the color grading for you in camera. Basically, it's kind of like log, but it's kind of like Rec 709. I don't know, it's kind of I'm still working through it. I don't know exactly. But it makes coloring a little bit faster and a little bit easier. So I haven't really been able to shoot in log, which is genuinely my preferred way to shoot content. With something like this monitor, I can actually shoot in log and get accurate exposure because I'm allowed to expose for HDR setting. What I mean by that is you can actually set your HDR settings inside of the monitor to see what your image is gonna look like kind of after you do all of your color corrections. And you can even import LUTs into the thing so you can actually look at a stylized image, which you could use in tandem with your editing software to very quickly edit all of your footage. It's also just a genuinely good monitor. The screen on the back of my camera is not great. And it's certainly not great when I have to show clients, be like, hey, look at this thing. They're looking on this tiny screen on the back of my camera. That's no good. It also records 2 SSD drives and they hook into a proprietary caddy made by Atomos known as the Caddy 2. Now this allows you to record on really fast drives, both for recording and dumping the footage onto your hard drives when you're done recording. The benefit of that is it's saving you time in post because you're able to get to working with your footage quicker. Which brings me to my main point about this product, is it saves time in post, which is great because it's mainly an on-set tool that you use when you're shooting. But the cool thing is it's beneficial both on-set and in the editing bay. So before I kind of sum up exactly why I like this product so very much for my post-production workflow, I'm gonna show you a little bit of a comparison video between some footage that I shot with the Sony a7R III in camera onto an SD card and footage of that exact same shot recorded through the Atomos Ninja V. So take a look at this comparison video. Okay, so as you can see, the image that you get from the camera is not quite as good, in my opinion, as the image that you get from the Ninja V. Now, I know it's the exact same image and it's the exact same color science, but the way that the image is recorded and the codec in which it's being recorded with genuinely makes it a better used image. There's something about that 422 color space from ProRes that I just love. It just makes it look a little bit better. And that little bit, like I've said a million times on this channel, is what helps you go from good to great. And that's where we want to be every single day. A couple last things that I want to talk about that make this a really awesome device is it basically works as an on-set tool that allows my post-production workflow to go faster. So it's beneficial on 2 out of the 3 parts of making a film, which is production and post-production. It gives me cleaner, crisper colors that I can use more efficiently and more accurately to get a better image overall. It's future-proof, which means I can use it with pretty much any camera, including cameras that don't have HDMI, because this has an SDI module that you can buy that turns it into an SDI monitor as well. This also has capabilities that I really hope come to Sony eventually, that will allow for it to record ProRes RAW, which, if you don't know, it's kind of a complicated thing, but basically it's the flexibility of RAW workflow and the ease of use of ProRes content. But most of all, it's really fun to use. I just like using the product. It gives me a really awesome image, which is great, but at the same time, like, it's just fun having a big old monitor on your camera. It's cool, and it looks pretty badass. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got for you this week. I will see you next time. Peace.